What's up, everybody? My name is Godzi, and welcome back to some more Umineko When They Cry questions arc. Last episode, Kanon and Jessica died, even though it doesn't show that they're dead yet, but they're dead, so let's just send them off now before their, things are shown. Rest in peace, Jessica. You, scream a lot, and your voice is difficult, and rest in peace, Kanon. Actually, don't rest in peace, Kanon. Alright. So, where we left off, they were discussing, like, the key situation with the first 6 bodies, because they haven't discovered Kanon and Jessica's bodies yet. And now real Batwer's arguing with Beatrice, I guess, so, yeah, let's get into this. What are you trying to pull? Again? A closed room again? Are you trying to say you unlocked it with the power of magic? Don't take me for a fool. If you're demanding that I show you how to open locks with my power, I wouldn't mind. But that wouldn't be the same as me forcing you to surrender. You keep trying... no, that's Beatrice again. I'm stupid, fuck, haha. You keep trying to explain it all with humans. Only when I've cornered all your theories... Wait, only when I've cornered all your theories completely will I have my victory. Come now, how will you undermine my defenses? What trick could a human have used to defeat them? It's just like the closed rooms last time. Not enough information. It's impossible to reason like this. Any excuse could be made. Any trick could work. There's no way to reason it out. I think this is where they're introducing like some mechanic with this universe now. Because I do remember a little thing that exists. We'll see if this is what they're talking about though. Ha! That again? There's not enough information, so you'll wait and see? Your information is uncertain, so it's impossible to use your reasoning. Ha! This is always the excuse you humans use to let yourself stop thinking. Who do you think you are, lowly human? Are you saying you can't even think unless you're like Laplace's demon, you incompetent fool? Besides, you make it seem like a lack of information works against you. But it's the other way around, you see. The more information you're given, the more it will make you suffer. It'll only increase the strength of the compressor that's squeezing you. Oh, in that case, let me say this. It's impossible to verify this is a closed room in the first place. We're already talking about demons. I can play that. If we're already talking about demons, I can play that game too. It'd be possible to prove that this isn't a closed room. Just show how someone could have gone in or out and you're done. But it's impossible to prove that this is a closed room. You can never deny the endless set of possible methods for getting in. In other words, this is one of those devil's proofs. This concept of a closed room is actually something that can never be proved. So first you stop thinking, with a lack of information as an excuse, and now this. Very well. If that is your move, then I will accept it. Continue. First off, it looks like you're trying to claim that the chapel's a closed room. Just a short while ago, I spent some time looking around in there, and I couldn't find any way in or out except for the door. But that just means I couldn't find one. It doesn't prove it was a closed room. If there's a hidden door or something that I wasn't able to find, your premise would be blown away completely. Okay, assuming there aren't any hidden passages, because I don't know if there is one, is it not possible that someone just went into Maria's room, took the key out of her envelope, and then used it to open and lock the chapel before and after the murder, and then return it to the envelope? That would only make sense. Unless the 6 killed each other. Which is possible, because if they slit open their stomachs like all at the same time, and then sat down, then they would have bled out. But then the candies were stuffed into them, so never mind. That doesn't make sense, unless one of them faked their death. But again, that's also unlikely. In other words, whether I manage to find a hidden door or not, you'll never be able to deny that there existed some method X that let you into the closed room. And this method X would be something that could be carried out without magic. After all, it's a hidden door. I'm sure that in this chapel there's some hidden door that's impossible to find. That's why there's no reason for me to reason it out, and magic is still impossible. Ho ho! So you'll use that logic. How naive. An expected move. Let me make my move in response. These closed rooms used in detective novels made by mere humans always seemed utterly ridiculous to me. Why? Because they're used the wrong way. When a closed room appears in a detective novel, do you really think it's a closed room? You don't, do you? What trick did they use to make this look like a closed room? That's what you think. In other words, there hasn't been a completed closed room in any of the closed room murders that humans have built over the last century. Oh, better not say that unless you want to face the wrath of the mystery fans. Christie's probably grinding her teeth in her grave. Who's Christie? Humph, but I am different. I have given birth to a true closed room, and I can demonstrate it. Why? Because I am a witch. For the devil's proof. You only had to bring someone a demon to prove that they exist, correct? Well, I conveniently happen to be a witch, meaning that demons are my good friends, and I can bring you as many of them as you like. Is that goat not a demon? Sounds great. Dad and the rest used a hidden door to enter the chapel or were carried in through it. How do you plan to beat that move? With this. Regardless of whether they were alive or dead, the six definitely entered through the door. Huh? Dumbass. The door was locked, so how'd they do it? I opened it with magic and invited them inside. That can't be true. Since I can't accept magic, there's no way I'll accept that. You're lying. That door can be opened with some trick. Or maybe there's a hidden door, but I won't accept any other way. I think she's gonna do it. Perpetual check. That's what we call an endless repetition of moves in chess. It's the same endless repetition as a discussion that won't advance because both sides deny the basis of each other's claims, like our game. In most games, this would be resolved as a draw, but that would put a terrible damper on our fun. We will have no draws. You will either accept me and submit to me, or you will deny me. At least I agree with you there. We'll settle this without fail, just as you wish. I like that attitude. So, I had a thought. I think I'll add a new rule to this game between the two of us. Okay, yeah. Here it is. I think this is what I think it is. A new rule? I'll bet it's something that'll give you an advantage, right? Of course not. I'll give you the thing people like you always demand. The reason you always stop thinking and then moan about it is a lack of information. And if you are then given information, you start doubting whether the information is true or not by rejecting the source. Isn't that convenient? What clever little words to hide your own incompetence. I'm offering to eliminate that convenient excuse of yours. You should thank me. You said they entered through the door and I said that couldn't happen. Are you calling that an evasive answer? Exactly. Yes, here it is. So from now on, when I speak the truth, I will use red. That's what I thought. The red truth. I definitely remember this from the anime. What's this? Keep explaining. No matter what magical move I use, you can always keep running away by chanting lack of information and by rejecting the source. Even though I would still win in the end that way, it would be extremely boring. Because of that, I'd be happy to give you the information and sources you so desire. However, you'll probably doubt each word I say. That isn't bad in itself. I will also use every possible move to make you submit. I don't dislike our posture of searching out our best moves for our own goals. But that won't make a game, so I set up this rule. Everything I speak in red is the truth. There's absolutely no need to doubt it. Are you telling me to believe that? This is a game between you and me. In a game, the rules are sacred. Those who take that lightly are not qualified to play. Okay, I get you. I'll accept that rule. Even an elementary school kid can get into an endless argument and find fault with everything. Then let's start it up again, continuing where we left off. I'll say it one more time. Dad and the rest used a hidden door to enter the chapel or were carried in through it. Then I shall repeat what I said. Regardless of whether they were alive or dead, the six definitely entered through the door. Is there any proof? Christ, stop! I will supplement the rule. When I speak the truth, I will use red, and when I do, I will not bear the responsibility of establishing that claim by showing proof. They will simply be facts and the truth. My reason is simple. I carried out all the crimes with magic. So for any impossible crime, all I have to do is wave my magic staff and show you how it's done. But that wouldn't make a game. It would be as barbaric as ignoring victory and defeat in a chess match and punching your opponent in the face. Well, that makes sense. Since you're a witch, there's no need for you to show evidence for what happened, since you can do anything with magic. Damn it. Talk about an unfair game. Alright, let's talk about Dark Souls then. No, that's not what I meant. So, shall we resume once more? The six definitely entered through the door. I unlocked it with magic. How you get around this magic? This closed room? The key. Genji and the others said there was only one key, but that's impossible to prove. The culprit secretly made a duplicate key. And she's gonna just red truth him again. Only one key to the chapel exists. Then what about this? The culprit made something other than a legitimate key and opened it. I don't know what, but maybe a wire, a tool for picking locks. What is this naive move? It is impossible to unlock the lock to the chapel with anything but the chapel's key. Although it can be opened with the power of magic, right? It's impossible to unlock the door with anything but the key. There you go, so not magic. Wow, she just disproved herself. Great. Then what about this? There's something wrong with the door itself. There was some way to pass through it even while it was locked. As to what that is, I can think of a few ways. Maybe it's like those big doors on a castle that have a smaller door in them. It's also... Whack! It's also possible that they removed the hinges and then removed the whole door before entering. Is this the best a century of human wisdom can manage, Battler? When the door to the chapel is locked, it prevents any and all methods of entry or exit. Assuming you can't use magic, right? Is it about time for checkmate? Not even close. You said those 6 people entered through a door, but you didn't say it was the front door. They might have entered through another door, a secret one. You talk too much, you incompetent fool. Then let me expand on my earlier move. The 6 definitely entered through this front door. That's screwed up. The door was locked. It was impossible to unlock without you... Oh, I got it. There is a hidden door. She never specified there's no hidden door. She only specified those 6 walked through the front door. The culprit went through a hidden door and unlocked that door from inside. So there you go. That's it. It's screwed up. The door was locked. It was impossible to unlock without using that single key, and yet 6 people entered through it? How? With magic, you say? Damn it. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it! Are we already seeing the limits of what humanity can manage? Then shout that you resign. When one admits defeat, it's customary to shout it out and knock over their own king. So do you resign? Then announce your surrender and knock your king over by kneeling. Then you may kiss my shoes. There could be no greater joy than forcing a man like you to lick my shoes. Damn it. It's useless. 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 So I can't win against the witch? This isn't chess at all. I've just been made to take the losing side in a chess puzzle. Is quibbling about details and getting a draw the best I can manage? That's the one thing that'll never happen. Either I will surrender or you will. There can be no other resolution. What happened to that bravery you displayed when you said this would be torture for us both? Hey, hey, hey! What a disappointment! What a total letdown! Hey, hey! Wouldn't you say, Ushiromiyas battler? Damn it! What should I do? What should I do? I can see it. I can see the place where I'll face checkmate. It's useless. It's useless. All my hard-fought moves have been nothing more than me desperately moving my king around, running away from check. No matter how many times I move, I can't escape from check. So even without waiting for the next several moves, I can see checkmate in my future. Damn it! After a few more moves, I can see where I'll face checkmate? Dots. Don't give up, Ushiromiyas battler. If I can see myself getting closed in upon, then if I spin the chessboard around, I should be able to anticipate her next move, right? Remember what Kyrie said. When you're thinking about something, then the closer you get to the very, very end, the easier it becomes to anticipate. Spin it around. Spin the chessboard around. My answer is dots. What? What happened? You fell silent all of a sudden. Fear not. Surrender is but a momentary shame. After that, all that remains is the joy of entrusting your fate entirely to the hands of your new master. Come on, cry out in resignation. I can't hear you. Speak up and say it clearly. We will never surrender. Enough babbling. You're just refusing to listen. So I'll say it once more. I won't resign. Continue. Resume the game. Oh, very well. It is your turn after all. I made the mistake of thinking this rule you made was your own weapon. However, I've realized that it can also become a weapon for me. It all comes down to this. Please do give it a try. I've been focusing all this time on how they entered the closed room of the chapel. That approach was useless. It's useless. It's all useless. Spin the chessboard around. Whenever Kyrie dies, that's his second catchphrase. That's right. I was thinking about it backwards. This is how I should approach it. How was the chapel, which wasn't a closed room in the first place, made to look like a closed room? Here it comes. That thinking technique humans gave birth to over the course of a century. Give it a try. Say this in red for me. If you can't, then refuse. Here I go. Does this man intend to reverse his defensive posture? Impudence. I get that the only way to enter the chapel is through the door, and that there's only one key. But wait. The question is whether that key really was handed over to Maria yesterday before noon. My, but you're dragging this on. Do try and get to the point. It's something like this. We've been under the impression that the key's been unusable since midday yesterday. So we've assumed that this was a closed room from midday yesterday until this morning. I want to hear you say that this impression of ours is a solid fact. Interesting. So you turn your reasoning not to the door, but to the key. Yesterday, Maria received an envelope from you. She didn't open it, but she might have felt it and known there was a key inside. There was key inside, rather. But it's not like she had been able to confirm absolutely that it was the key to the chapel. Here's what I'm getting at. The thing inside the envelope given to Maria was a fake. If you think about what you're saying, it's ridiculous. This morning, Rosa definitely took an envelope out of Maria's handbag, and from that obtained a genuine key to the chapel. It wasn't a fake as you suggest. I know that much. I'll continue. In that case, when Maria first received the envelope, the thing inside it was definitely that same key to the chapel, right? Dots. Oh. See what I'm getting at? Midday yesterday, you gave Maria an envelope with a key inside, and you told her that she mustn't open it. Maria probably realized it had a key inside. Later on, Aunt Rosa used the thing inside the envelope to open the door to the chapel. And that's why we assumed it was the key to the chapel all along. What the fuck? This is the suspicious part. So is this what you're trying to say? That when I entrusted Maria with a key, that key was a fake? And then by the time Rosa obtained it, it had been switched with the real thing? Yeah, that's it. What's wrong, Beatrice? You've been looking a bit pale for a while now, huh? Those close to me sometimes call me Beato. Beato will do. It's your turn, Beato. The turn of the Golden Witch. Let's see you dodge this. Very well. The key to the chapel truly was the object inside the envelope I gave Maria. I'll move forward. Can you repeat it in red? That envelope was completely under Maria's supervision until Aunt Rosa opened it. There it is. If you can't say it, then say you refuse. Check. I refuse. I spun it all around with just one move. Now it's your king on the run, Beato. I have a reason for refusing. It regards the definition of the phrase under her supervision. In its purest meaning, Maria would need to have her eyes on it around the clock for that to be true. But Maria didn't go that far, and may have been completely under her supervision when she took it out of her handbag. But after she put it inside, it disappeared from her field of vision. In that sense, the phrase under her supervision would be inappropriate, so I couldn't use the red, nothing more. I'll bet that move hurt, and your face tells me you've guessed the next one. Sorry, I'm kind to women. I don't hurt them. And I never betray a woman's expectations. It's time for you to repeat it in red if you think you can. No one was able to touch Maria's handbag until Aunt Rosa took out the envelope. I will also refuse this one. I won't explain the reason. That's wrong. You're supposed to point, Battler. It's not that you won't explain it, it's that you can't explain it. That move gives us checkmate, doesn't it? Isn't it kind of a paradox, though? Because even if she refuses to say it, that doesn't mean she can't, you know? Unless that's like an unwritten rule. If you can't do it, then I'll explain. Why does this sound like the Steins Gate opening at first? It's clearly not, it just sounded like it. The key to the chapel really was in the envelope you handed to Maria. I've never even seen Steins Gate, I just know the opening because it's a good song. Kaneko Ito is a great singer. Then Maria put it in her handbag, and the next morning Aunt Rosa took it out and opened the lock. However, Maria didn't have the handbag under her complete supervision. There's no need for magic. It's a closed room trick that's possible for a human. The human culprit handed Maria the key, and by making Aunt Rosa use it the next morning, they created the illusion that there was a closed room during that time. You can't deny the possibility that during that time, the culprit took the key from Maria's handbag, used it, and returned it by morning. This song. Christ, I love it. Can you say it in red? Ah, no, that's wrong! Repeat it. If you can say it, then say it. It's check again. Not yet. I removed the check. The envelope with the key in it should have been sealed with wax. Rosa took it from an unopened envelope. Really? Then try saying it. Repeat it. The envelope handed over midday yesterday and one Aunt Rosa opened are the same thing. That I can repeat. The envelope I handed over to Maria and the one Rosa opened are the same thing. Ha! Ah, it's useless. It's all useless. That doesn't even matter anymore. I expected more from you. I figured that you were a bit better at reading between the lines. I figured that if you were a bit better at reading between the lines, you'd resign right there. So I'm disappointed. You've betrayed my expectations. What? Who cares if the envelopes were the same? Envelopes can be sealed with... Oh, wait. Is it Battler? Who cares if the envelopes were the same? Envelopes can be sealed with wax over and over. The key inside is what's important. This time, it's all over, Golden Witch. It's a real checkmate. I'll say it one more time. Repeat it. If you can say it, try saying it. The key to the chapel inside the envelope Maria received wasn't used even once until Aunt Rosa opened the envelope. How? How could I? Against a lonely human? I'll keep on saying it, Beatrice. Repeat it. The key to the chapel inside the envelope Maria received wasn't used even once until Aunt Rosa opened the envelope. If you're gonna yell, then say you resign. This settles it. This is the truth. Before Aunt Rosa obtained Maria's key this morning, at one point it passed to someone else's hands. Then they used it, resealed it, and returned it to Maria's handbag, making it look like it hadn't been used. This is a trick with a cheap loophole. The assumption that the key wasn't used because the sealing wax wasn't open. Checkmate. There's no magic, and it's nothing more than a trick that's possible for humans. Okay, yeah. In that case, who do you say stole the key? Try answering. This time you try repeating it. That's right, I'm making you repeat things all the time. I probably have to answer every once in a while. But I refuse. My condition for victory is denying a witch's existence. I'll prove that this impossible crime done with your magic was actually possible by human hands. I smashed your closed room with something possible even for humans. However, I won't specifically investigate who the culprit is. Because I believe in humans. Because I definitely won't accept that there's a person among us who would steal the key from Maria, use it, and do something so horrible. I give up. I resign. Just once for this skirmish, I'll give up. But you really are naive, Battler. Parting remarks are a loser's privilege. Say as many as you like. Since you continue to deny my existence, you will eventually be cornered. After all, since you deny me, you will have to suspect those relatives that you can't stop loving. In the last moment, when you have to suspect one who is beloved to you, then you will surely accept my existence. True, you have defeated me in this skirmish alone. However, that naive logic will definitely destroy you. You can't win against me after all, Ushiromiyas Battler. Oh, shatter. Ow, my stomach! I didn't die, though. Alright, and now it is 7:30. 7:30. Okay. Christ, 8 people dead in an hour and a half. Rosa and the rest returned from the chapel to the parlor in the mansion. So many things had happened since early in the morning. Of course they were high-strung. Battler and George, who had cried, raged, and let their emotions explode after seeing their parents' tragic bodies, returned to the parlor and sat in the sofas, dazed as though everything up until then had been a lie. Only Maria was completely unchanged and looked just like normal. When she wasn't playing pranks, she was basically a kid who played wordlessly by herself. So even if she was dazed, she would probably look just as she did. But as she turned on the TV and flipped through the channels, it looked as though nothing about her had changed from normal. Did Rosa think anything in particular about this attitude, which was clearly different from normal people? She stared at Maria's back as though looking at something that wasn't quite heartwarming. Eventually, Kumasawa came to say good morning. Oh, finally, bitch. Where have you been, old hag? Her cheerful manner was clearly out of place, and she couldn't help but be bewildered by the strange atmosphere in the room. Then when she heard the details from Goda, she reacted loudly with shock. Of course you've contacted the police, right? What should we do in a time like this? Oh, what should we do? Please calm down and listen. It seems a machine somewhere was somehow done in by lightning last night. Because of that, we haven't been able to use the phones. What? Then, until the typhoon passes, we can't even contact the police? Maybe Kumasawa's exaggerated surprise was a little comical. Even in this kind of situation, Rosa giggled. Because of that, the fog of confusion that had covered her head cleared up a little. Rosa? I've got to stay strong. It's not just Maria. I'm acting as a parent for George and Battler, too, so I have to stay strong. She never said Jessica! She never said Jessica! She might know she's dead. Rosa had been the youngest sibling, with a large difference in age between her and the others. Hold on, though! How did Kanon and Jessica... Who actually killed Kanon and Jessica? That never crossed my mind, because I've been so suspicious of Rosa, but also Kumasawa. Yeah, Kumasawa could've, I suppose, but... Kanon and Jessica versus Kumasawa, unless Kumasawa's faking her old age, and is actually like a young woman, at least in this case, that would make the most sense. And Goda could have. Goda's technically possible for both. God, you're suspecting me again. Calm the fuck down. But aside from that, the only other person it could be... Well, Beatrice got rid of Kanon's corpse, so they won't find his corpse, right? So that means Kanon could have done it, but I don't see why he would. I don't see why he would kill Jessica, honestly. Kumasawa or Goda. Those are really the only two I see who had an opportunity to actually sneak off and kill Kanon and Jessica. Because Rosa was probably, like, front center the entire time, which leaves George, Battler, Maria, Nanjo, and Genji. And I don't see how any of them would have done it. And Shannon. Forgot about Shannon. Rosa had been the youngest sibling, with a large difference in age between her and the others. So she had always been treated as a child. Every time she learned something new, it was something obvious to her siblings. And she had built up a complex, becoming convinced of her own incompetence. So she had developed a passive personality, asking her siblings for advice every time something happened. But she no longer had any brothers or sisters. Now, Rosa was the only one of the 4 Ushiromiyas siblings left. Furthermore, if Kinzo continued to shut himself away, even in this extraordinary situation, Rosa would have to surpass this crisis as the head's representative. I'm not a child anymore. Not a child. Dots. Rosa slapped her knees lightly and stood up. She must not wait for orders now. She had to start moving herself. She picked up the receiver of the extension phone on the side table. Then she immediately remembered that the phones were down. Genji and Shannon, whom she had sent to see Kinzo, hadn't returned yet. Oh, those two left. I forgot about them. They had an opportunity to kill. But I was pretty sure Shannon was the culprit with the first one. Is she really the culprit with every single one, then? Or at least with just this one? I mean, Higurashi spoiler, so skip ahead like 30 seconds-ish. 10 seconds, I don't know. To avoid spoilers starting right now. Takano was the fucking culprit for all of the arcs in Higurashi. So is it possible that Shannon is the culprit? Or anyone? Is there one common culprit among all the arcs? I don't know. All I know is that I'm fairly sure Shannon was the culprit of the first arc. But I don't know if there's a common culprit, because that hasn't been established. It could be any single person for any single arc. Like, it could be Shannon for the first, Goda for the second, Kumasawa for the third, and, like, Kraus for the fourth. You never know. But, we'll see. She had a good guess at what was going on. He was probably yelling something nonsensical again and becoming unmanageable. His precious chapel had been defiled with blood. That was easy to imagine. She had planned on using the extension phone to call the study, but unfortunately the phones were down. Rosa decided to go to the study directly with her own 2 feet. Her old self would have been too frightened to go see Kinzo. And in fact, if she did meet him, she probably would be blamed somehow and insulted. But this was no time to be frightened. As his true daughter, she had to make him aware of the current situation. Kumasawa, I'm going to see father. Take special care of George and Battler. I'm sure they're on edge right now. Yes, yes, that may be true. It is truly pitiable. I shall make them something warm to drink. Thank you. Rosa went out into the hallway and headed towards Kinzo's study. The atmosphere in this mansion, which she'd spent her younger days in and should have been full of memories, seemed somehow different. She began to climb the stairs in the entrance hall. Just then, in the faint darkness down the stairs behind Rosa's back, something glowed. Ah, Christ. I don't think... Does Rosa die here? I don't know. It was a single fluttering gold butterfly. It fluttered around and sparkled. The butterfly danced about without a sound. It was only natural. No one can hear the sound of a butterfly's wings beating. And then it came to a rest on Rosa's back as she slowly climbed the stairs. Rosa didn't notice it. If someone not in the know saw it, they'd probably assume it was just single sheet of gold leaf in the shape of a butterfly that had been stuck there. Without noticing a thing, Rosa continued heading towards Kinzo's study. Oh god, Beatrice. So, how will you entertain me with this next one? There are still many, many pieces left. Okay. Is that butterfly like one of her, furniture or whatever? In the parlor, which had fallen silent again, the only sound was that of the TV that Maria was watching alone. If there was anything audible besides that, it was the sound of the rain, which had continued on and on since the previous night. Every one of those who had witnessed that unearthly and horrible scene stayed silent, as though praying that the events of that morning had all been a dream. Because Kumasawa alone hadn't seen it, her reaction was slightly different. The silence itself seemed more unbearable to her, as she was anxious to encourage everyone somehow. However, she was aware that she must avoid saying anything careless, and she seemed to be pondering how she could be most helpful. Normally it would be time for breakfast. However, possibly because something so outrageous had happened, Goda seemed to have forgotten to prepare a meal. Or maybe everyone was so beaten up that they'd forgotten their hunger. Kumasawa wanted to bring up the subject of what they should do for breakfast, but it didn't seem like the right atmosphere, so she really couldn't. But she really was hungry, so she casually made a proposal. It seems everyone is tired after all that has happened. In times like this, I think the best thing is to heat yourself with some warm black tea. Indeed, that is an excellent plan. I agree as well. How about some delicious black tea with biscuits and jam? Ah yes, I hear Halloween will be here soon, and we have some delicious looking pumpkin-shaped cookies on the shelf. Oh, bad choice of words. Kumasawa, that's... Yeah. Of course she had said the wrong thing. She had reminded Battler and the rest about that horrible and tragic Halloween party in the chapel. Nanjo hurriedly whispered into Kumasawa's ear. Battler, I am so sorry! I didn't mean to upset you, truly I didn't. Okay. No, don't worry about it. I'll definitely turn this boiling anger back on the culprit. I wonder if that culprit is still on the island. Probably. At least until the typhoon passes, no boat will come. Yes, that is true. After all, the boats stop coming even when it's just a little windy. They certainly wouldn't come during a typhoon, yes. It creeps me out. You think so, George? Me too. And that's even putting aside whether the culprit's that mystery guest or not. Who's talking? Indeed. We've naturally suspected the mysterious guest who calls herself Beatrice. But we still cannot be certain she is the culprit. There's still the possibility she's a victim whose corpse still hasn't been found. Right. When I think of it that way, there's something I just can't understand. What do you mean by that? It's simple. It's just like Kumasawa said a short while ago. Right now, this island is right in the middle of a typhoon and escape is impossible. The same thing goes for the culprit. In that case, having the crime come to light should have been the thing the culprit wanted to avoid most. I see. So there was no need to draw that creepy magic circle on the entrance to the chapel and show off the fact that the corpses were there. Is that your confession? Because it sounds like it could be. If you spin it well enough. Yeah, that's it. And if they were able to take the time and effort to do something so horrible to those 6 people, it should have been possible for them to hide the 6 corpses where they'd be impossible to find. I agree. That brutal Halloween party probably wasn't directed at those who died. It was directed at the people who would eventually discover it. Us. It's probably safe to say that the magic circle was there to help us find it. The culprit knows they won't be able to escape from this island for a while, and yet they acted as though they wanted to make us find the corpses in the middle of this typhoon. What does it mean? If I were the culprit, I definitely wouldn't play around and make us find the bodies. Beatrice was not in her room, and the room did not seem particularly disturbed. Ah no, milady did disturb it quite a lot though. Come to think of it, what happened to Jessica? Dun dun! Kanon is looking after her. They are probably in milady's room. That isn't good. The culprit is definitely still on the island. In this situation, I don't believe it's a very good idea to isolate ourselves in small numbers. What do you mean by that? You don't mean to say that the culprit plans to kill all of us? Let us remain calm. That is not yet certain. But unfortunately, we can't deny that the possibility exists. This letter was in the chapel. According to this, the culprit is the witch. And if we don't solve the riddle of grandfather's epitaph and find the gold, they'll massacre the whole family or something like that. Is that true? Would you allow me to read it as well? Eek! Eek! Oh, mama. As I read the witch's letter, sorry I'm a little far away from my microphone, but that's because I'm picking at my back because I'm stupid. There we go, got it. Alright, perfect. As I read the witch's letter, Goda, Kumasawa, and Nanjo's faces grew even paler than they had been. Kumasawa could no longer hide her shaking. If you don't want to die, try finding grandfather's hidden gold. Is that it? Screwing around with us. I bet she can't solve the riddle, so she's trying to make us solve it. However, I wonder what the truth is. Madam, who's speaking? Goda? However, I wonder what the truth is. Madam always stated that the legend of the gold was nothing more than an illusion created by the master. It is doubtful whether it actually existed. True, supposedly they thought it would be nice if it did exist, but only half believed it. The relatives started believing in the legend of the gold only after Kinzo's health worsened and the inheritance problem came up. Oh, that's probably Nanjo. Until then, hardly anyone believed in it, I understand. Oh, so maybe that's why. Do you remember? On the table in the chapel, there were 3 gold ingots. That alone would be worth quite a lot. Doesn't that prove that the legend of the gold was real? Oh boy. Excuse me, please wait. Just now, did you say there were 3 gold bars? Yeah, there were definitely 3 of them piled up. So what? I happened to hear Kraus say something once. Yes, I just happened to hear it, you see? It's not like I was trying to listen in on secret discussions, no indeed. Don't worry about that now, so then what? Is there something wrong with there being 3 of those gold bars? Yes. According to Kraus, there was only 1 bar ever found to support the legend of the gold. That is correct. I believe Kinzo showed the president of Maruso a mountain of gold and let him take 1 bar back with him, or so the story goes. That 1 bar came to be in Kraus's possession, and then he said that no other gold supporting the master's legend of the gold existed. You're talking about Uncle Kraus here? So what does that mean? No, wait, 3? Wait, where did they come from? That's too many, right? There were 2 others hidden somewhere. Perhaps there is another explanation. Maybe the other relatives also found 1 each, and they each brought 1 of them there. No, I cannot believe that. When all of the relatives came to the mansion, I was entrusted with their luggage. I did not feel a suspicious weight back then. I think those would weigh about 10 kilograms. If that much weight was in their bags, even I would notice. But it didn't seem that way. Same here. At the most, there were some changes of clothes, a first aid kit, Kyrie's makeup, stuff like that, I think. Aunt Rosa's luggage also looked pretty light. In that case, those 3 piled-up gold bars were being shown to them. Or maybe to us. The legend of the gold is definitely real. It isn't an illusion. They're telling us to try and find out the secret if we can. Could they be scheming to have us solve the epitaph, which points to where the gold is hidden, and then try to snatch it away? Yeah, that does make some sense, but there are a couple parts that don't fit. To start, our parents, who should have been the most likely to solve the epitaph, were killed first. That seems to create a contradiction right off the bat to me. And something else makes even less sense. If the legend of the gold is actually true, then how were they able to pile up all that gold? It's almost like the culprit's already found the gold, and it's telling us to try and find it too. Maybe the culprit found those 3 like Uncle Kraus did. Maybe that convinced them that the legend is true and they're trying to make us search for the rest. I think that way fits the best. Dots! The pieces on the chessboard aren't lined up at all. We don't have a clue what the culprit is planning, what they want, or what they want to make us do. Is there any point? No matter what we think, is there anything we can figure out right now?
It was written down. What she wanted to make us do. Couldn't anyone read it?
Maria suddenly laughed in a creepy voice again. I thought she'd been concentrating on the TV, but apparently she'd been listening in too. Without turning away from the TV, she very simply told us what we were forgetting.
Beatrice hasn't said once that she wants the gold. All she's asking is whether you're all capable of solving the epitaph's riddle or not. Though I'll bet she's pretty sure you can never do it.
So, are you saying you can solve it, Maria?
I don't care. After all, she'll take me to the Golden Land, so I won't get in Beatrice's way. Ouch!
In any case, it looks like we'll have to ask Maria if we want to learn anything more. Maria, tell us, who is this Beatrice? What is she planning?
You know, Beatrice is a witch! She can do anything with her strange powers. The power of magic can do anything. It can even create gold or bread. And of course it can create sweets too, right? You saw, didn't you?
At that time, everyone jumped at the sound of a door being slammed shut. Oh, hello. When we turned around, we saw that Rosa had suddenly returned, bringing Genji and Shannon. Then she rapidly approached Maria, her heels squeaking, and hit her on the cheek. Stop talking about that. Battler and the rest will take it badly.
Ugh.
Without waiting for a response, she hit Maria's cheek once more. Ah! Everyone could only stand there, stunned. I don't know what "oo" means. What about yes? Then she suplexed her.
Ah, Mommy!
Bam! That's what happens when you don't listen to your mother. She mercilessly hit Maria's cheek again. Maybe Maria didn't feel like resisting after being hit twice. She weakly said yes. Rosa, there's no reason to be so harsh. This is my daughter's education. Do not interrupt. The atmosphere around Rosa, with Genji and Shannon standing at attention behind her, was somehow cold and yet dignified. Completely different from how she had seen before she left. She was holding something that looked like a gun. Uh-oh. Now she's the gun lady. I couldn't imagine that she'd be holding a toy in this situation. Aunt Rosa, what is... No, this is Father's. Because of the current situation, I borrowed it specially. Everyone should understand. The culprit is still nearby. We don't know what might happen. I agree. Rather than trying to figure out what the culprit is planning, it might be better to first think about our own safety. Father was fine, but he was considerably shaken by these sudden events. Fortunately, he said he won't leave his room, so he should be safe. For now, we should all try to stay together as much as possible. I agree. We don't even know where the culprit's hiding, and after all, there's no proof that there's only one of them. Even though I'd said it myself, I shivered. That's right. Could a single person kill all 6 people and set up such a horrible scene all alone? Isn't it natural to assume that this crime was carried out by multiple culprits? I agree with Rosa. It probably is good for us to stay together.
Yes, I think it's good too. Yes.
Maybe it's about time we called for Milady and Kanon. That's right. Let's have them come down. George tried to grab the extension phone, but Goda shook his head. That's right, the phones are down right now, aren't they? I'll go with a couple people. If George and Goda come too, that should be enough. No, let's all go together. It's a wolves and sheep puzzle. If we're in balance while gathered together like this, then maintaining this situation will be safest. A wolves and sheep puzzle?
Ew, I got it. I'll show you.
Maria, turn off the television. Genji, please tell me where Jessica's room is. Let's all go together. We shall go together. Yes, I will guide you. Come on, everyone. We'll move together. We shall go together. Follow my instructions. We stood up. Maria alone looked like she had some regrets about the TV, but she decided to go along with everyone for now and got up. Shannon, thank goodness. I was a bit worried when you took so long to get back.
I am sorry to have worried you. The master ordered me to transcribe something for him.
Transcribe? Shannon?
I am sorry. Excuse me.
Okay. We headed for Jessica's room, with the armed Aunt Rosa and Genji in the lead. Jessica and Kanon were a boy and a girl of about the same age. It'd sure be a shame if we barged in on them at a bad time, or at least that's what we'd be joking about normally. However, Aunt Rosa was on edge, constantly exuding a sense of tension. So it definitely wasn't the sort of atmosphere for careless remarks like that. Hey, don't fall behind. Everyone move together. We don't know when or where the culprit might leap out at us, right? No, maybe Aunt Rosa's attitude was more appropriate. Since Grandfather hadn't come down, Aunt Rosa was our leader. This wasn't a situation where she could smile like she always did. And Aunt Rosa was a mother, too. She probably also thought that if she didn't get a hold of herself, some harm might befall her beloved daughter. The culprit had killed 6 of our parents at once. The method they had used was unknown, but there was a good chance this opponent could take down a large number of people in a flash. Would that be with weapons, or with numbers, or with the magic of a witch? In any case, I couldn't think of any reason why it'd be okay to let our guards down. The rest of us had better take much greater care, just like Aunt Rosa. Everyone stop! Aunt Rosa spoke in a sharp voice. Wondering what this was all about, we peered forwards, and immediately realized the reason. Yep, there it is again. What is this? Hey! Everyone, get back! Goda and Genji approached the door. Beyond this door was probably Jessica's room. This seems to be the same paint that was scribbled on the door to the chapel. It appears so. It seems not much time has passed since it was drawn. Not much time? Then Genji or Shannon. What the heck? Is that another magic circle?
It's the first magic circle of the moon. And it's the power to open unopening doors.
Drawn on the door to Jessica's room was the same kind of creepy scribble that had been drawn on the door to the chapel. That strange pattern must have had some occult meaning. But it didn't matter what the meaning was. We were worried about whether those two were okay. That doesn't matter. Are Jessica and Kanon safe? This does not bode well. We should quickly bring those two downstairs. Milady! Milady! Are you there? Please answer. Goda knocked violently and yelled, but there was no answer. He gripped the doorknob with a clatter, but the lock just resisted him. Rosa, it seems to be locked. There's no helping it. Please open it up. Genji nodded, and Goda quickly unlocked the door with the master key. In the back of my mind, horrible images floated up and disappeared, one after another. A magic circle had been drawn on the door to the chapel. Behind that lay 6 corpses. So if there's a magic circle drawn on the door to Jessica's room, then beyond it must be... Jessica! What happened? Is she there? Jessica! What happened? It was truly heartless. The expression on Goda's face and his cry as he opened the door prepared us for the brutal fate that Jessica had met even before we saw her. Everyone rushed into Jessica's room at once. That scene told everyone that their worst fears were spot on. Jessica! How horrible! Dr. Nanjo! Yep, she's toast. But did they not find What? Where was she killed? Oh, she was stabbed in the back. Duh. Oh yeah, Kanon's corpse was hidden. I'm stupid. Found in her own room in the mansion with a weapon shaped like a stake rammed into her back. Finally, at the very end, she got to be with the person she loved. She must have been happy.
A body has been discovered! Wow, the culprit killed 7 people! Man, that's against the rules!
Inside the room, which seemed elegant for the bedroom of one so young, Jessica lay crumpled on the ground. There was a large pool of blood on the floor, and there was a knife or something sticking deep into her back. Was it a knife? There was a design on the handle that just had to symbolize something demonic. It had to be a weapon, question mark, okay, Sora, with some kind of occult meaning. This is horrible. She has passed away. This probably reached her lungs. Not much time has passed since she died. Jessica! Damn it! Damn it!
The Battler!
I was naive. I knew it. Since the culprit couldn't escape the island, they were definitely close by. So why didn't I get cautious sooner? I was naive. I just assumed that a culprit would commit their crime and then just sneak away and hide. We were stunned then. We thought Jessica had given in to rage and running off was just something that couldn't be helped. But we were naive. We should have stopped her. Goda, why did you leave those two alone? If only you had been with them. Something like this. No, that is, I said it was dangerous, so we should return. It's just that Milady said she wanted to be alone. Kanon told me to leave it to him, and... Speaking of which, where is Kanon? Huh? Oh, missing. Okay. The witch erased his corpse for fun. That alone caused an incredible uneasiness among the survivors. If that which resides in the human world... Wait, if that which exists resides in the human world, then that which does not exist is truly fantasy. Fantasy takes the form of what they fear. That's right. What in the world happened to Kanon?
Kanon, where...
Kanon should have been with Milady. Where in the world did he go? You don't think they got him? Quiet. Someone might be hiding in this room. Search under the bed and in the closet. There was a chance that Kanon's corpse had been pushed away somewhere. At Rosa's order, everyone searched throughout the room together. But there wasn't a single human hiding anywhere. He's nowhere! Could the culprit have taken him out of the room? Then we'll have to search for him quickly and save him. If we're slow, something awful might happen. Aunt Rosa, let's search all over the mansion. Let's search for the culprit. Let's save Kanon. Quiet! When Aunt Rosa yelled at us, we felt instantly silent. She was probably contemplating something. However, what in the world could that be? Aunt Rosa walked around the room as though looking for something, or as though she was collecting her thoughts. Okay. You can do weird things, Rosa. Then she found something on the side table by the bed and picked it up. If anyone knows, tell me. Which key is this? Aunt Rosa showed everyone a key with a cute mascot attached to it. Judging from its cute appearance, I didn't doubt that it was Jessica's key, but I had no way of knowing for sure. It is probably the key to this room, to Milady's room. Ah, they're doing another closed room murder. After hearing that, Aunt Rosa made a point of going outside the door and checking. Without a doubt, it was the key to this room. I wonder why it was set in a place like this. Oh wait, there's master keys, so never mind. Wouldn't you normally keep such an important key in your pocket?
Milady wasn't in the habit of locking her room. It seems she would only do it when she went to school, because she didn't want someone like Kraus to look inside her room.
I see. She wasn't at school, so it's natural that Jessica would set the key down here. How many keys can open this door?
Just the one Milady had.
Oh. Can it be opened with your master keys? They can open it. How many master keys are there? Are all of the servants holding them? Are there extras? Yes, we all have one. As for extras, I wonder.
There used to be several, but Madame scolded us harshly, saying that was careless, so they should have been dealt with.
That is correct. There's only one held by each servant. There are no more. It's the same situation again. Wait a sec. I think we talked about extra master keys in the last game, right? Indeed. Well, regarding that, I have noticed that having several master keys whose locations are unknown is quite disadvantageous for me. That's probably right. Since you want to make me believe in magic using closed rooms, it'd really hurt you if there were more master keys than we thought. After all, every time a trick involving locks shows up, I plan to resist by arguing that the Cobra had a master key that someone lost in the past or a duplicate. Yes, that's correct. So I've decided to make a move to defeat that. I'll update our setting. The only master keys are the ones held by the servants, 1 key each. Messing with me. More importantly, what kind of move is this? What's Aunt Rosa talking about? Who knows? You should try listening in. Thank you. I have the situation sorted out. So I'm gonna assume what happened is the culprit does not have to be a servant in this case. Yes, I think the only people who could have slipped away are the 4 other servants, but that doesn't mean it's impossible that someone like Rosa or Nanjo or George or Batware, Maria, probably not Maria, that anyone else could have snuck away, following Jessica and Kanon into the room, killing Jessica and Kanon, taking Kanon's master key, and locking the door from outside. That's all there is to it, really. Thank you, I have the situation sorted out. And I've been able to pinpoint the culprit who assaulted Jessica, or at least one of their accomplices. What did you say? Who is it? Aunt Rosa, you don't mean Kanon, do you?
Huh? What? Why Kanon?
This room was locked, and the only keys that can unlock it are the master keys held by each servant and the key Jessica had. But Jessica's key was closed up in here, which means it's only possible that one of the master keys locked this room up. It is as you say. In that case, someone killed Jessica, then locked the door. That person had a master key, and there are only 5 people with master keys.
Oh my! It wasn't me! Not me! No, I could never do such a thing!
Kumasawa got up late. After we returned from the chapel to the parlor, we did meet you there, but it's impossible to prove where you were and what you were doing until that time. It's also hard to believe that if she's truly this old, that she killed Jessica, you know? You watched us from the shadows, chased after Jessica and Kanon while they were isolated, and stealthily attacked them.
Are you saying I visited Milady's room and did something so horrible? I did no such thing. Yes, no such thing.
What about you, Goda? You said you left Jessica in Kanon's care and returned. But I wonder if that's true. Maybe you actually killed the 2 of them, hid Kanon's corpse, and then came back with an innocent look on your face. Nothing of the sort happened. I, Goda, swear that I did not do anything like that.
It wasn't us. We were following the Master's orders and...
Yes, you and Genji alone are clean. That's backed up by what I heard from Father. The 2 of you were in Father's room the whole time, transcribing and witnessing for him. Oh, okay, so Shannon's not involved. Unless both Genji and Shannon are, culprits in this, they're fine. Plus, it's likely that Kinzo would have reported if they were late, you know? So, they're probably clean for this whole thing. Father and I guarantee that. Thank you very much. In that case, the argument becomes who is more suspicious, Goda or Kumasawa? I thought that myself right after entering this room, but still I found it strange. Look at the state of Jessica's body. Does everyone think it's strange? Strange, you say? Jessica was struck in the back. Come on, they say it all the time, right? That in crimes where the victim is struck in the back, there's a high likelihood that the culprit was someone whose face was known to the victim. She definitely wouldn't invite a person she didn't trust into her room and defenselessly expose her back.
Rosa, you don't mean to say that was Kanon, do you?
I do. We're all fully aware of the state Jessica was in right before she was killed. Jessica was very panicked. It's easy to imagine that after she regained her composure, she'd be in a horrible slump. It would be very understandable if Jessica's frame of mind led her to shut herself up alone in her room. And those particulars match with Goda's story. Jessica said to leave her alone. Wait, Jessica said to leave her alone? Then Kanon, who is of a similar age and who may have some adolescent relationship with her, said to leave this matter in his hands. That feeling is also very understandable. So for that reason, I think Jessica welcomed Kanon into her room. But what if it had been Goda or Kumasawa? Would she have let them into her room? I believe that I have gained Milady's trust, but even so, Oh, then I guess you're still a suspect after all, Goda. I assume Jessica probably didn't like you very much, so I didn't think she would have let you into her room. I was convinced that you couldn't possibly be the culprit, but maybe I was mistaken? No, I am sad to say that I may not have been accepted by Milady. What about you, Kumasawa?
We are far too separated by age to understand the feelings of a young person like Milady very well. And for the same reason, perhaps Milady never opened up her heart to us. Right, Goda?
Yes, that's right. It would have been quite difficult for her to open her heart to the likes of us. And it would be inconceivable for Milady to let us into her room when she was grieving. Goda and Kumasawa each rubbed their hands together, affirming each other with forced smiles on their face. It was a truly unpleasant rondo. So, it was a person who might be allowed to enter Jessica's room while she was grieving. A person who might have been given access to her defenseless back, and who had a master key. That only points to one suspect. It was impossible for anyone except Kanon.
Please wait. Kanon definitely wouldn't do something like...
It's possible, but I don't think it's true. Oh, then is there someone else? Is Goda or Kumasawa suspicious after all? Who do you think is more suspicious, Shannon? Come on.
I could never...
It wasn't me, Shannon. Yes, it was not me.
Of course it wasn't me either. The ones who had close relationships with Milady were Kanon and, after him, you, right? Yeah, isn't that right? Jessica might also let Shannon into her room. You were supposedly with Father, but in reality, could you be the culprit? Shannon couldn't be the culprit. Didn't you just say she was doing some important work with Grandfather? Yes, I know. Neither Shannon nor Genji is the culprit. Father confirmed that they were together the whole time. Well then, what do you think, everyone? After being told that, no one could respond. Even if someone did manage to argue back, they'd then have to offer the name of a different suspect. And no matter who that suspect was, it would have to be someone right here. No one could do something like that. Aunt Rosa glanced at everyone in turn, fingering the gun like it was a toy. She seems so different from the kind Aunt Rosa I knew. No, it's probably because I'm not fully aware of danger we're in. Maybe Aunt Rosa's attitude would seem natural if I could truly sense the peril surrounding us. It looks like no one has an opinion. Then I'll give you mine. Of course, I can't deny the possibility that Kanon's a victim without a corpse. But until we find that corpse, I certainly can't rule Kanon out as a suspect. There's a chance he'll suddenly appear again, claiming to have been attacked by the culprit and confined somewhere. But take care. Most likely, no, there's no doubt about it. Kanon killed Jessica. No way.
I can't believe it. Kanon did that to Milady? That's too much.
I feel the same as Shannon. I'm opposed to labeling Kanon as the culprit. Then, is the culprit Goda or Kumasawa? Tell me who's more suspicious.
It wasn't us.
It wasn't us. If it wasn't Kanon, then who could have locked this door? How about it, Shannon? George? Huh? Christ, couldn't you just, do the little thing where you open the door, lock it, and then close it behind you?
That's how doors work, right?
Christ, I fucking hate this. Aunt Rosa closed in on Shannon and George, laughing unpleasantly. Of course, they couldn't say anything back. They wanted to believe in Kanon, but if they did, they'd have to suspect the other servants. The simplest culprit was the mystery guest Beatrice. Mystery guest Beatrice. But she was nothing more than a guest and didn't have a master key. So if Beatrice is the culprit, despite lacking a master key, then do we have to accept the argument that she really is a witch who walked the door with the power of magic? Alright, so that's a transition. So guess what? That's gonna be it for this episode, guys. This was a pretty good one. Was it incredible? Nah, but it was good. We got introduced to the Red Truth and all that. That's good. So, that's gonna be it for this episode. If you liked it, be sure to press the like button, and if you didn't like it, fuck you too. Remember to subscribe, follow me on Twitter, and hit that notification bell to stay up to date on all my videos and stuff. And as always, my name is Godzi, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye!